The Townville Elementary School shooting suspect is scheduled to be in court this week.
It's been a year and a half since that heartbreaking day. A lot of people, though, say they remember this like it was yesterday. Fox Carolina's Alexa Rodriguez is live from the Anderson County Courthouse.
The suspect is a teenager, and that's why these court proceedings that are expected to last throughout the week, that's what they're going to decide. The judge will rule if this person will be charged or tried as a juvenile or as an adult. He right now is facing multiple charges, 2 of them including murder. This happened on September 28th, 2016. Investigators say the then 14-year-old killed his father before coming to Townville Elementary and opening fire on a playground. A teacher and 2 students were hurt. A firefighter tackled the suspect, ending that incident. One Townville resident tells us it's a day he's never going to forget. He even got really emotional as he shared some of those memories with us.
The day it happened, it kind of shattered everything.
6-year-old Jacob Hall lost his life a few days after that shooting. The teacher and the other student are okay. They did recover, but that loss, Jacob Hall's life, was felt across the entire nation. Again, the proceedings are expected to run throughout the entire week, with the judge making a decision sometime early next week. We will be there throughout this proceeding and, of course, give you updates every day that we are there. So expect updates this afternoon on the 4 and 5 o'clock news. Lauren, Ted.
Yeah, Alexa, really this was a day that shocked the entire upstate and really the whole nation, and a lot of eyes will be to the courtroom this week. We'll check back with you for a little bit more. Thank you.
He did. At one point he stated that he thinks he killed his father, and then he said, "No, I know I killed my father." And then there was one time he said, good thing my gun jammed, or I would have shot more, or good thing my gun jammed, or I would have killed more.
Were those statements that he made in response to anything that you asked him?
No, sir. There was he blurted them out in an excited utterance.
We continue to follow breaking news this afternoon from Anderson County. That's where a judge is deciding whether the teen accused of opening fire at Townville Elementary School will be tried as an adult. Investigators say the suspect was 14 years old when he killed his father, Jeffrey Osborne. The teen is also charged with killing 6-year-old Jacob Hall, who was shot on the playground at Townville Elementary and then died 3 days later. The defendant is now 15 years old and charged with 2 counts of murder, 3 counts of attempted murder, and 5 weapon charges counts.
Yeah, Fox Carolina's Margaret Burnquist is live at the Anderson County Courthouse this afternoon. And Margaret, just to clarify for everyone, this is not the start of the trial. This is where the judge will determine whether this young man will be tried as a juvenile or as an adult, correct?
Correct. And because the accused Townville shooter could stand trial as a juvenile, we're not saying his name. We're not showing video of him. Now, here at this waiver hearing, it is closed to the public. There's a lot of security to go in and out of the courthouse, and even the streets surrounding the courthouse are blocked off.
Call evolved from a 911 hang-up to an active shooter.
Justin Brown, animal control officer for Anderson County Sheriff's Office, was the first officer on the scene that day, along with his partner.
I saw the subject, defendant, on the ground and a firefighter on top of him. That was the first real sign of the defendant.
Deputy Brown says he held the subject down while his partner cuffed him and then went to clear the rest of the building in case of a secondary shooter.
When we rounded the back of the school, we saw the gun that was used on the playground.
Investigator Ronald Wood from the Anderson County Sheriff's Office arrived a short time later and says the suspect was brought to him in handcuffs.
He was placed in the back passenger seat of my patrol vehicle. He was crying and said, "I'm sorry."
Detective Wood says he did not question the teen, but the boy made several statements anyway.
At one point he stated that he thinks he killed his father, and then he said, "No, I know I killed my father." And then there was one time he said, good thing my gun jammed, or I would have shot more, or good thing my gun jammed, or I would have killed more.
On that scene, Detective Wood says he did speak with the suspect's grandfather, who told him his grandson called from the school. Wood says the man went on to shed some light on his grandson's home life.
He did not have a home life, and his parents stayed drunk, and that he stayed in his room.
And that he loved his rabbit.
And he loved his rabbit.
And you also learned he was homeschooled.
I did.
Now, after Detective Wood, we heard from 2 more investigators and a special agent from the FBI, and I'm told right now they're up there watching a taped confession from the suspect. Back to you.
All right, Margaret, today just is the first day of the hearing, so how long do we think that these proceedings will take?
Well, it is expected to last through much of the week. Reporters received a list of 20 people who were set to go give testimony, and we've been through 5 of them so far today.
Not allowed in court when the suspect's video confession was played, but the court did release a full transcription, which outlines some of the chilling details the suspect told police. He said it all started long before the shooting took place, that he'd been bullied at school and had been having trouble at home. The night before the shooting, the teen described a conflict at home that ran over into the next morning. He said that morning he took his father's firearm. He tells the officer, "I went into his drawer and loaded his gun." He tells police he shot his dad, Jeffrey Osborne, kissed his pet rabbit and dogs, then made the drive to Townville Elementary. "I went in there and shot him 3 times, and then went in his truck and drove to the school." The officer asked what the teen did when he got to the school. He says, "I drove behind the school and then jumped out and started shooting. I shot 1 round and it jammed, and then I shot again, and it jammed every time, and I thank God for that. Please say no one died." Did anyone die? In court, Ronald Wood with Anderson County Sheriff's Office recounts this moment.
He said, good thing my gun jammed, or I would have shot more, or good thing my gun jammed, or I would have killed more.
The teen tells the officer he realized what he had done. "I just got mad at myself and started yelling, screaming to the top of my lungs, just saying, why did I do this?" The teen says he threw the gun down and called relatives. They said they were going to come down, pick me up, and take me to the sheriff's office. I told them, "You can't do that. I'm going to get arrested." And that's basically when the fireman came around the corner and told me to get on the ground. The officer asked the teen how many people he had planned to kill. The suspect says, "I was thinking 20, 30 kids. I don't even know." The suspect talks about the Charleston church shooting in Columbine, then mentions a group on social media he claims knew about the shooting. The suspect says the kids in the group chat, which are 14, 15, 16, and I think one is 17, they were all cheering me on. The officer asked the teen why he chose to go to Townville Elementary. The suspect tells him, "It was the first school I ever went to, and nobody liked me there." Now, this hearing is expected to go through much of this week. Reporters were given at least a list of at least 20 potential witnesses today, and they only made it through 5 of them today. Cody and Diana.
Thank you. Morning testimony is expected to resume today in court proceedings for the accused Townville Elementary School shooter. An Anderson judge is deciding whether the teen will be tried as an adult.
This is expected to take all week. The suspect is facing 2 murder charges. The first for his father, Jeffrey Osborne, who you see here. The second for 6-year-old Jacob Hall, who died days after being shot. 2 others were hurt when investigators say the teenager opened fire at the Townville Elementary School playground back in September 2016. 5 witnesses took the stand on Monday, and more are expected today.
Fox Carolina's Alexa Rodriguez is live at the Anderson County Courthouse with more on what happened in court on Monday. Alexa?
The defense argued that that videotaped confession shouldn't have been played yesterday because the teenage suspect, they say, should have had a parent or a lawyer present with him when that interview was done. But the judge said that he voluntarily confessed and did allow that interview to be played. The video was played for everyone in the courtroom, including Jacob Hall's family. Jacob was one of the victims who lost his life after that shooting. The suspect tells us that says in that transcript that he was bullied at school and had a lot of trouble at home. In the transcript, he described shooting his father and then driving to Townville Elementary, where he says he jumped out of the truck and then started shooting at the playground. One investigator shared his testimony yesterday of that interview.
At one point, he stated that he thinks he killed his father, and then he said, "No, I know I killed my father." And then there was one time he said, good thing my gun jammed, or I would have shot more, or good thing my gun jammed, or I would have killed more.
In the transcript, the suspect tells the investigator when he realized what he had done, he just stopped, dropped the gun, and started screaming, "Why did I do this?" The suspect also talks about a group on social media that he claims knew about the shooting. He says, quote, "The kids in the group chat are 14, 15, 16, and I think one is 17. They were all cheering me on." We are going to have more from that transcript in the next half hour. We do have all of those pages on our website, though, at foxcarolina.com if you'd like to read it. There is a lot of information in there. Again, court proceedings expected to last throughout the week, and we do expect a ruling from the judge on whether or not this suspect will be tried as an adult by Friday. Lauren, Ted?
Yeah, we understand, that transcript might not be for everybody, but it does definitely highlight some big issues. Alexa, we'll talk more about this. Thank you. And stick with us. We will cover these hearings from Anderson County all week long. We'll also have...
We have students from first grade that did not return, the second graders. We've had one on extended homebound. We've had several homeschooled since then. Our district has granted transfers to another school for another student because the building and the events there trigger things for them. Our kids ask us, is he coming back? Is he going to hurt us again? The kids talk about, losing a friend at school. They know that a fellow student was shot in our building. We have people that go to outside counseling children, so I can't give you all those numbers. I have a few reports of those that do that. We have some staff members that take advantage of our employee assistance program, and they go to that, and that was not the case prior to this event.
How about the activities that the children participate in?
We do drills now, and we have to do drills differently now. We've asked some of our church friends to help us with our drills, sometimes just as huggers, so that we can, participate and do the drill, but do it in a way that kids don't feel so, like a tornado drill. They're sheltering in the same places, so that's become an issue. They need a little help, especially our younger children. They need a little help with that. With our fire drills, we'll send them out, and then we'll pull the alarm so that they do hear the alarm, and we are doing the drill. But the noises are something for them now. We have since, balloons are a big thing at schools for parties or events after school, and we have learned that we really can't do that. We had a family Valentine dance the February afterwards, trying to, just have a fun family event for everybody, and a balloon popped, and everybody just dropped. So we had to turn the light on and realize we couldn't do that anymore, that was still something that bothers our children a lot. We had kids that couldn't go to the bathroom and close the door. They could go, but they couldn't close the door in the downstairs because that's where they sheltered, and that was just something that they just couldn't do anymore. They couldn't shut the door behind them in the bathroom.
So is this something that you all still continue to deal with on a daily basis?
We do.